Back to the phone lines, 560 WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
Hey, my name's Chris. I'm calling from Wellington, Florida.
Bring it on, Chris.
Man, it's disappointing to see this team fall apart so late in the game. And it seems to be happening all the time with this team. I've been a fan for 40-plus years. And I don't understand. We have a really good coach. We have really good players. But we can't get something together. That just, it doesn't make any sense. I know that we have defensive players injured, but that's not an excuse.
That's part of the game. Everybody's hurt.
It's not an excuse, though.
No, it's not. No excuse. There's no excuse right here. We're not making plays.
Yeah.
I said it last week. When the stage gets big, we seem to get small. I thought we kind of got over that this week. We scored that Jalen Waddle touchdown. Problem was, it was with a minute and 38 seconds left. And you knew Buffalo was going to try to find some way. They didn't do a great job, but they got enough, 61 yards.
Yeah.
It's like, what else can we do?
We can sit there and utilize our Warriors and use Jalen Waddle a little bit more and target him a little bit more. Maybe sit there and throw people off of Tyreek and sit there and use our running game just like we've been doing. That's fantastic.
Running
game
great.
is fantastic. But Jalen Waddle has been underutilized, and that's not really helping us.
Jalen Waddle didn't get targeted till like the last 2 minutes of the game. He caught a pass, got cleated, then he caught a touchdown pass, and it looked like he didn't even celebrate when he caught the touchdown because he knew there was business to be done. But like 8 games into the season, like, okay, now I get my first touchdown. It's not time to dance. It's time to just figure this thing out. And I'm all for maybe outside the box thinking. I'm all for, now, I mean, hindsight's 2020, but instead of throwing that touchdown pass with a minute 38, maybe a run or two here and there and try to run some clock and maybe score with 10 seconds left, hopefully score with 10 seconds left and go for 2. I'm all for anything against Buffalo. We can't seem to figure them out. It reminds me of this, Andy Roddick. Remember Andy Roddick? Second best player in the world for a couple of years. Couldn't beat Roger Federer to save his life. And I remember one day after a final, he lost to Roger Federer again. He goes, I just can't beat him. I just can't beat him. He goes, I've tried to play differently. I've tried everything. I just think it comes down to he's just better than me and he's going to beat me. And like, I feel like that as the Dolphins, like we did everything. We've got it. We've gone out and even got Buffalo guys on our team. Ciaran Neal had a penalty today too. Also, he used to play for Buffalo. Jordan Poyer gets the penalty. We've tried everything. We outplayed them today. We tried to just outright outplay them and we still lost. Just can't beat them. 305-567-0560. Back to the phone lines. 560 WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello?
Eddie from Miami.
How's it going, man?
Bad. But I hear everybody saying, different things. I mean, if you really look at it, it's bad, but if we didn't fumble these last 3 weeks in a row, I mean, different football games. So I don't think we need to replace the coaching. I just think that Greer needs to go. Odell, I thought Will Fuller was the biggest robbery contract. I don't know. Odell might be second right now because we could have used that money to have a backup quarterback and maybe we would have, been in a different situation. So I don't think it's a coaching change issue. I just think we need to get rid of Greer. And I don't think Ross is going to do it. Ross didn't fire Parcells. He didn't fire Ireland. And it seems like he doesn't want to fire Greer for whatever reason. So I don't know. I don't know if it's going to ever happen, but I just think that that's one of our major issues right now.
Yeah, that is one of the things a lot of people saying after this loss, maybe with the trade deadline looming on Tuesday, you might see a totally different team next week, or they might try to blow it up. That's not the Dolphins' way. They don't make these in-season big-time changes. It usually is an off-season thing if they ever are going to make a change, and they seem to be reticent to do that. So I don't think you're going to see a drastically different Dolphins team next week when they go out, or Monday night, or next Monday night when they go out against the Rams. I think you're going to see, for lack of a better term, they're going to play it out. Chris Greer is going to be the general manager for the rest of the season. Tua is going to be our quarterback. Hopefully he stays healthy for the rest of the season. Mike McDaniel is our coach. And then there's not going to be firings of the coaching staff or anything like that. It's just, we're going to play out the way we've played. Now, if there's a silver lining, not much. We have played a lot better with Tua. We went neck and neck with Buffalo in Buffalo, but still, you know what close counts in? Horseshoes and hand grenades.
Yeah. Yeah, I completely agree. And like I said, the team, we're making stupid mistakes here and there. But if you really look at the last 3 games, I mean, we literally could have won those games. And I just think that we need to get some players healthy, and we need somebody else picking our players in this offseason if we're going to do anything next year.
I hear that, but now this is now going on 2 years that we've talked about getting players healthy. Is that going to be our crutch from now on? We're going to always say, if we get healthy, you better watch out. 4 years down the road saying the same thing? Like, no more of that. I'm tired of that. If we were healthy, we'd have beaten you. Well, you weren't. 305-567-0560, 560 WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello?
Miami.
Hey, what's going on?
Good. I want to talk about mine went blank. Flores. Flores. If we had Flores, I think we would have been in a better position. That's just my opinion.
Why do you say that?
Because he was more defensive. Like, the defense right now is not good. The defense is not good right now. And he was not no friendly coach. He was a coach. He wasn't friendly like Coach McDaniels with the players. He was more serious and on point about what he was trying to do. Coach McDaniels is play, man. He just play.
I hear where you're coming from. With Flores, the team got better as the season went on. When it got to be clutch moments, they seemed to be a little bit tougher. So I can see some of the stuff that you're saying right there that, it was a different attitude, but also you did yield some type of different results.
Yeah, I mean, that's just my opinion about it.
I understand. No, totally. You're not alone. There's a lot of people out there that see what Brian Flores is doing in Minnesota and what Brian Flores even did here. And they're saying, hey, we acted like he was the worst guy in the world, but he kind of got done dirty in some ways, or he felt he got done dirty. And the fact of the matter is we were always very proud of the team, that the way that he maximized their potential. So I definitely understand that. And he was definitely not a buddy coach. You can ask Tua Tagovailoa about that. Definitely not buddy, but he did maximize his talent, and this team was gritty and tough, especially towards the end of games. Lately, though, a lot of people have been bringing it up, and it's been one of those sticking points. You can see the turning point in games. It's usually the fumble. The Alec Ingold fumble in the red zone, the Raheem Mostert fumble against Indianapolis, the Tua, whatever you want to call it, Aaron Brewer snap, the safety snap, and then today Raheem Mostert's fumble at the very beginning of the second half. It just kind of seemed that it started to snowball down, and it seemed like Buffalo kind of got that glimmer in their eye, like, we got a chance. I got a glimmer in my eye because I want to talk to you. 305-567-0560. What's your name? Where are you calling from? Hello? Hey.
Yeah, hi.
Oh, go ahead.
How's it going?
I'm a little upset right now. My football team isn't doing too great.
Well, I mean, just look at the decisions that general managers made. How do you go into the season with Skylar Thompson, and then how do you sign Tim Boyle? That guy can't even complete a forward pass.
He wasn't a good college quarterback even, so keep that in mind.
Did you see him on the Jets? The year before, we signed this guy to be our backup quarterback. He was awful on the Jets.
Yeah. I remember going into that game.
Joe Flacco was Joe Flacco available?
Possibly.
Yeah. Right.
And we didn't want to touch Garoppolo because he had a 4-game suspension at the beginning of the season. Could have used him though eventually. Could have used him.
There's so many backup quarterbacks that come into the game and they lead their team to victory. Ours couldn't even complete a first down.
It was true.
It completely derailed the season.
Look at some of these teams. The Colts, they're still in contention. They might be starting their backup quarterback, Joe Flacco. The Green Bay Packers, one of the best teams in the league. They're neck and neck right now, early against the Detroit Lions, 7-3. But they have Malik Willis coming in win games. Other backups have come in and been successful.
And let's be honest, is Mike McDaniel, I'm tired of hearing him being referred to as an offensive genius.
They've been bad this year. Well,
we have 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. When you're watching that game, are you confident that they're going to pick up a first down?
They actually did pick up a couple 3rd and 2s today and 3rd and 1s. Early in the game, they did not, but I make it a point to see them. They did start converting more, but it seems like forever we were sold this bag of goods. Mike McDaniel, he's a run guy first. He's a run. And now it's exactly what he wants. Run. But it's not yielding any more positive results than anything else.
And we locked all these guys in. We're running it back next year with the same exact group. You have to.
We don't have a lot of choices.
25 years now without a playoff win.
And we're
So
2-6.
how
right
is that
now.
acceptable?
No, it's not. And
I mean,
that's something has to change. If you're crazy to think that, oh, if we just get healthy, everything's going to be different. We're going to be the best team in the league. I'm sorry. That is a flawed mentality.
Let me ask you a question. If in the off season they fire Greer and McDaniel and they hire a guy like Mike Vrabel and an up and coming assistant GM that has a great reputation, would you sign for that right now? Or are you going to run it back with McDaniel again? Because look at his overall record. What has he done? He's 1-6 against playoff teams, and then he can't even beat the bad teams this year.
You know what's scary? That last year could have been Mike McDaniel and this team's ceiling.
It was his ceiling.
Ugh, don't say it.
Absolutely was.
Ugh.
They got rid of. How do you get rid of Andrew Van Ginkel? The guy was affordable, and he's making plays all over the field.
There's some argument.
How do you let that guy go?
There was some argument that he wanted to go play with Brian Flores in Minnesota. He was a free agent, but we definitely did not step up to the table and offer him the peanuts that he was going to get from any other team either.
They signed like 17 defensive linemen in the offseason. All of them basically wouldn't be playing on any other team. I mean, maybe Hand had a couple good plays today, but this is not a defensive line that's actually going to go and beat the best teams in the AFC in the playoffs.
All you need to know is
road.
We made a mention of it earlier today. Shaq Barrett, he's won a Super Bowl. He's been a pros pro for many years. Decided, nope, you keep your $8 million. I'm going to stay here in Tampa Bay and not play out my final season with the Dolphins. And then all of a sudden now we have to scramble and get Emmanuel Ogbah, who's been good, but maybe we should have looked into that a little deeper when Shaq Barrett said, nah, no thanks. I'll pass.
I honestly have a bad feeling that Chop Robinson is going to be another Charles Harris. They swung and missed again. I don't think that this guy is going to be a major impact player in the NFL. And I know he had one sack today, and we're all thinking like, okay, that's great. But he's done absolutely nothing. Let's be honest. He's done nothing. And he's gotten playing time. And Cam Smith,
he's playing.
He's playing. He's nothing. The Chris Greer has swung and missed on so many picks. We had a complete haul of draft picks with that Larry Tunsil trade. Right. And we absolutely have nothing to show for it. And Houston's better than us right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It took years for Austin Jackson to develop. And Noah Igbenogany, he's over there with the Commanders doing whatever. We know he was nobody. Cam Smith, oh, man, he didn't exactly shine today. Devon Achane, you hit on Devon Achane. You got to admit that.
Okay, yeah, great. Well, that's awesome. So we're going to bring him back again next year?
He's our best player.
And well, no, I'm not saying Achane.
Oh, Greer,
because he hit on
a third-round pick from Texas A&M running back.
Exactly. So now we're going to pat Chris Greer on the back because he hit on Achane. How about look at the last 4 or 5 drafts and see how many players were complete and utter misses.
Yeah.
I don't understand how Stephen Ross can bring this guy back. It's enough already.
Something has to be changed. I mean, 24 years without a playoff win and barely going to the playoffs those 24 years. He spottily very going like that's not the team. That's not the team we have on the field right now. That's deeper than that. And I thought the guys on the field today, they played their hearts out today. I thought they outplayed the Buffalo Bills. He just got beat by, let's be honest, a better team. Buffalo's a better team. And for all you Josh Allen haters and Buffalo actually sucks and the refs give them all the calls. No, Tua is 1-8 against them. 1-8. They're good. Josh Allen's good. And the referees, whether you like them or not, are trying to call the best game they can call. They don't sit there and wake up in the morning and get together over coffee and go, okay, so let's try to figure out a way we can get Buffalo to win this game today because it's better for us. No, it's not the way it is.
Yeah, but the thing is that the Dolphins, if they didn't beat themselves, they would have won this game.
Don't put yourself in those positions.
Out there and make dumb mistakes. If Mostert didn't turn over the ball, if Chop Robinson didn't jump, if Jordan Boyer didn't go head hunting there, basically, we wouldn't be talking about this right now. We'd be talking about a Dolphin win right now.
That's the difference, and big difference. Kansas City and the Dolphins. When the going gets tough, you just know they're going to make a play. You know Patrick Mahomes is going to find a way. You know Travis Kelce is going to get open. You know that Andy Reid is going to scheme something up. You know that their defense is going to come up with a big play or a stop. When the Dolphins get in a tough situation, it's the opposite. You know they're going to find a way to lose. You know that they're going to let the other team drive down the field. You know that even though it's a 61-yard field goal, for some reason, Tyler Bass is going to make it. You just have that feeling. It's the opposite way. And maybe that's it. Maybe it's not that maybe the team starts thinking that way. It's in their heads. Like, they have 1:38 seconds left and they got Josh Allen and the ball. We're in trouble. And actually did a pretty darn good job. Chop Robinson gets the sack, gets the offsides. We stop him. Cam Smith played defense on that pass. Jordan Poyer leads with his helmet. And then you still kind of stop him. 61-yard field goal. Not bad. Mike McDaniel decides not to ice the kicker, and he'll explain later why he decided not to ice the kicker with his last time out. But then the guy walks up there like clockwork, nails a 61-yard field goal with the room to spare, and it's like, that's your Dolphins. Maybe it's the mentality, though. 305-567-0560, 560 WQAM. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
James, I'm calling from Fort Lauderdale. How are you, my friend?
James, it's a Sunday fun day, win or lose, but I thought we had this one. I thought for the past 3 weeks we've had it, to be honest with you, but we've lost all 3 games, so not great, but I'm glad to be talking to you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I mean, first and foremost, I want to say the Dolphins played their heart out today.
They did.
They killed it. They did as best as they could. Like, there's no shame in losing a game like that.
No. The way they lost to Buffalo earlier this year, there was some shame to that.
Yeah. I mean, Tua got hurt, but again, and that's kind of at least my first point about this whole thing, right? For better or for worse, Tua is holding the franchise hostage, because when I look at the play calling, right, and I look at the way it is, they're almost calling it in a way that's like it's all there to protect Tua. Like they're trying to manage him to a point where they have to try and get him to like the playoffs, but you have to win a game now. If you don't trust him to make throws, like let's say later in the game, or to take that hit and hold on to the ball to get somebody open, then what are we really doing here? Like even last game against the Cardinals, that screen call at the end of the game, that was like a play not to lose call as opposed to play to win.
He made some big plays on that last drive that the Dolphins had the ball, though. He had that run, and then I thought he stood in there a little too long on that Waddle pass, and he could have gotten lit up. So I thought Tua was a little, cavalier with his playing at some point. But I do understand, like, some of the play calling sometimes you think is just to avoid getting hurt rather than to make a play.
Exactly. But again, like, that's one thing. But also, I kind of feel like you have a good point about the team and the fact that they fold under pressure. I think they're tough. Like, honestly, and not as NFL athletes, because they're tough to play, and they know going in there they're going to get hit. But mentally, like, you usually follow your coach, right? If your coach is an a-hole, you're going to play like an a-hole.
Yeah.
If your coach is a nice guy, you're going to play like a nice guy.
Yeah, look at the Detroit Lions. Look who their coach is.
Oh, yeah.
How do you think they play?
Like a-holes.
Look at the Miami Heat. Look at their coach. Their coach is smart, savvy, and talented. How do the Miami Heat play? Yeah, you're right. You play like your coach.
Agreed 100%, bro. And
so,
the last thing I want to say,
please,
real quick, the other caller that was talking about Flores, listen, say what you will. Flores is doing well. Flores, I think he messed up when he was down here too. But I also think the guy knows defense. He knows football. And there's a reason that he's getting cycled again for head coaching, regardless of suing the NFL. Like, when do you ever see that happen?
Yeah. I can tell you one thing, the big difference between Brian Flores, Mike McDaniel, the organization has given him an open checkbook. Brian Flores was given absolutely nothing. Nothing. In fact, they tried to kick him out a couple times. I don't know. Right. You bring up a good point right there. Very good point. Mike McDaniel, whatever you need. Brian Flores, if you have anything of value, we're taking it away. Good point, man. We'll win next week, though, man. We're all winning upward. Thank you so much for the call. We're just frustrated. It's frustrating. We spent a ton of money. We've got all this talent. Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Jonnu Smith, Tua Tagovailoa, genius Mike McDaniel, Calais Campbell. He's been fantastic. Zach Sealer's hurt. Jalen Ramsey. And our best player is Devon Achane. And we run all of our offense through Devon Achane. Rightfully so. But there's still no excuse that Jalen Waddle is disappearing for the whole game until the last 2 minutes. There's just no excuse for that.